Every time the price of gold goes down or silver goes down, I'm happy because I buy more. I'm a hardcore hard assets person. Well, unlike some of these other guys who make these bold forecasts, I kind of, part of my books is I do write about what I talk about. And it says why the biggest stock market crash in history since 2013 is still coming. I got to change the book now, is here. And the reason I could predict it is because, as you know, in 2008, they didn't fix the problem. They made it worse. And so today I'm more bullish than ever on gold and silver and oil, hard assets. And but I can back it up, unlike some of the other guys. I said that. It's in my book, 2013. And this is my concern here. Being an old guy, a baby boomer, this is the other book I wrote with a man named Ted Siddell. And it's our pensions are being looted. So the baby boomers are in serious trouble.
Good evening and welcome to Economy Express, your trusted source for financial insights and strategies to navigate these complex times. Tonight, we bring you a compelling perspective from none other than Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad and a staunch advocate for financial education. In his latest discussion, Kiyosaki dives deep into the world of hard assets, gold, silver, and the looming economic challenges that should be on every investor's radar. If you're serious about preserving your wealth and preparing for the future, stay tuned. This is a discussion you can't afford to miss. Let's begin with Kiyosaki's central philosophy, a steadfast belief in hard assets like gold and silver. While many investors panic when the prices of these metals drop, Kiyosaki takes a different approach. He celebrates.
And that's my concern. And then, we're talking about it. I went to school not too far from where you're sitting right now in New York. I was on Long Island. I went to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. So in 65, I had to read this book here. And so my economics teacher at the academy was a West Point graduate. I was Kings Point, and he flew B-17s in World War II. So when I was 18 years old, I'm at school in Long Island, not too far from where you are today. And I ran around Upper East Side a lot. Everything this book, what Marx predicted, is coming true today. And that's my concern, Michelle. I'm very concerned. I'm an old guy. I'm a boomer. And today there's about 50 million boomers who have retired. And I think we got 250 more to go. So every day, 10,000 more retire. And my concern is it's all been predicted. So this here is a capitalist manifesto. And I said, it kind of looks like this book here. What it says right here, it says in 1959, being a boomer, this is what Nikita Khrushchev said. He was a premier of Moscow, Russia. It says, your children's children will live under communism. 1959, he was telling us this. He says, you Americans are so gullible. No, you won't get communism outright. We'll just keep you feeding you small doses of socialism. And Khrushchev was warning that. And as you'll finally wake up and you'll find that you have communism. So today we're finding out we already have communism. And it says, we will not have to fight you. We will weaken your economy. This is 1959. This guy Khrushchev, it's right at the back of the book. We will weaken your economy until you fall like overripe fruit into our hands. So that's this book here. It's just packed full of warnings we had. But as you know, as my friend Donald Trump says, it's all fake news today. We don't hear any of this stuff. And so that's why I appreciate what Kitco is doing, and because you guys are providing kind of a warning signal to guys my age. I'm 75 years old, and we're in trouble. Of course, I'm buying more gold and silver. I go, what the hell is spot? I'm a college graduate. What is spot? I didn't know. So ever since then, Michelle, I've become a hardcore gold bug, because I realized if this little woman in Vietnam, behind enemy lines, knew what gold was, how come we don't? And that's when, you shouldn't ever talk to me about should you buy, as Warren Buffett says, never ask an insurance salesman if you need more insurance. Okay. I'm a gold bug. You need more gold. That's all I'm saying. So I don't care what the stock markets are doing. Every time the price of gold goes down or silver goes down, I'm happy because I buy more. Today, I have tons of gold and silver because I have gold mines and I have silver mines. It's a trading option, like an options trading. So I every time gold drops, and as you know, I suspect gold and silver are manipulated. J.P. Morgan was just nailed for manipulating the futures price of gold and silver, just manipulated. But they're keeping the price low, so the smart money can buy more of it. So Jim Records, is a friend of mine. He says pretty soon you're going to wish you had bought more of it because you won't be able to touch gold or silver. And so every time they manipulate the price lower, like they do the stock market and all the price higher, it's a good buying time for me. But you have to know what you're doing, if you know what I mean.
Why do you think he says you won't be able to touch gold and silver?
Because he's calling for $15,000 an ounce gold. Well, I don't really care because I just want more of it. What Buffett says, never ask an insurance salesman if you need more insurance. Never ask a gold nut like me, do you need more gold or silver? Because every time they drop the price, I'm very happy. And Andy Schectman is talking about how BRICS, what's that, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa.
Right, yeah.
They hate America. And then with the Belt and Road Project or their Silk Road Project, they're now trading in Chinese gold-backed yuan. And they're trading oil in Chinese-backed gold yuan. So it's not if, it's only when. So that's why this guy, Andy Schectman, is a great guy to listen to. I had my whole company listen to him system-wide. And because I'm trying to convince my team to buy gold. I'm a hardcore, hard assets person. I am hardcore. I don't recommend what I do. Please hear me. I don't recommend what I do. But I stopped trusting my government in Vietnam. They would report the news. I listened to Walter Cronkite. You're too young to listen to him. But I'd be watching Walter Cronkite, the evening news from Vietnam. And I'd be involved in many of those battles they wrote about, like Quang Tri and Hue and all that. What they reported wasn't the truth. I don't trust the news at all. So when Trump, called it fake news, I agree with him. So that's what I'm saying. What you're doing, what David Lim is doing, you guys are reporting the facts. I respect that. And then a person can make up their own mind. But I just don't trust the Fed, and I don't trust Wall Street, and I definitely don't trust the government. So that's what happened to me in Vietnam. I'm an academy graduate. I went down 3 times in Vietnam. I got knocked down. My helicopter went down 3 times. But I came back more committed to fight for our freedom. I don't fight for Democrats. I don't fight for Republicans. I don't fight for liberals or conservatives or Green New Deals. I fight for our freedom. The motto at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Kings Point, about 30 miles from where you're sitting right now, was acta non verba. Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. And that's why I watch what Biden does. He opened the border. I watched what Obama did. He bailed out General Motors and the banks. And he pretends he's a man of the people. Watch what they do, not what they say.
Welcome to Economy Express, your go-to destination for all things economics and finance. Whether you're an experienced investor, an inquisitive student, or just someone who wants to stay ahead in today's ever-changing economic landscape, you've come to the right place. Now, let's get into the details of our news.
For him, a decline in gold or silver prices is a golden opportunity to buy more. Why? Because he views these assets not just as investments, but as critical safeguards against the looming threats to our economic system. Kiyosaki's confidence in gold and silver stems from his distrust of traditional financial institutions and government systems. He points to the unresolved issues from the 2008 financial crisis, stating that the problems weren't fixed, but were instead papered over with policies that only delayed the inevitable. He argues that we're now facing the consequences of these decisions, with the potential for an even bigger collapse on the horizon. For Kiyosaki, the story of precious metals goes beyond just their price. He believes the market is manipulated by major institutions like J.P. Morgan, which have been accused of keeping prices artificially low. While this might seem like a disadvantage, Kiyosaki sees it as an advantage for savvy investors. The smart money, he says, takes advantage of these low prices to accumulate more. He also highlights a growing concern shared by many in the financial world. A day may come when gold and silver are no longer accessible to the average investor, as demand skyrockets and supplies dwindle. But the discussion doesn't stop there. Kiyosaki ties his advocacy for hard assets to the broader geopolitical landscape. He brings attention to the actions of the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which are increasingly trading in gold-backed currencies like the Chinese yuan. This shift is a direct challenge to the dominance of the US dollar as the global reserve currency. According to Kiyosaki, this move is not a question of if, but when, and it could have massive implications for the global financial system. For investors, this is a clear signal to pay attention to how these geopolitical trends could reshape the markets. Kiyosaki also provides a sobering look at societal and economic trends in the United States. Drawing from historical warnings, he expresses concern that the economy is shifting closer to a socialist or even communist model. He references Nikita Khrushchev's 1959 statement predicting that Americans would gradually adopt socialism without realizing it through small, incremental changes. Kiyosaki sees these predictions playing out today, with economic policies that, in his view, erode individual freedoms and weaken the economy. His distrust of the system runs deep, shaped by personal experiences during his time in Vietnam. As a U.S. Merchant Marine Academy graduate, Kiyosaki recalls how media reports often misrepresented the reality on the ground. This, he says, taught him to question everything, especially the news, government actions, and the Federal Reserve. It's a lesson he urges all investors to adopt. Don't just listen to what people say. Watch what they do. For Kiyosaki, this principle, acta non verba, or deeds, not words, is crucial. He applies it to analyzing leadership, pointing out inconsistencies between actions and rhetoric. For example, he criticizes policies like bailouts for large corporations and open borders, seeing them as moves that undermine economic stability while claiming to support the public good. Now, let's bring it back to you, the investor. What does Kiyosaki's perspective mean for your financial strategy? First and foremost, he emphasizes the importance of education and independent thinking. He doesn't recommend blindly following his approach, but he does stress the value of hard assets as a cornerstone of financial security. Gold and silver, he believes, are essential tools for preserving wealth in an era of economic uncertainty. He also warns against over-reliance on traditional investments like stocks, which he sees as vulnerable to manipulation and systemic risks. Instead, he encourages a diversified approach that includes tangible assets with intrinsic value. As he puts it, every time they drop the price of gold and silver, I'm happy because I buy more. In conclusion, Robert Kiyosaki's message is a powerful reminder to prepare for the unexpected. The economic landscape is shifting, driven by unresolved financial crises, geopolitical realignments, and societal changes. For those willing to pay attention and take action, there are opportunities to safeguard and grow wealth. The question is, will you be ready? That wraps up tonight's feature on Economy Express. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, knowledge is the ultimate investment. Stay informed, stay prepared, and we'll see you next time.